Nigeria's oil wealth, the very lifeblood of its economy, is being systematically choked by a 50-year-old shadow that threatens to derail Africa's entire energy future. This isn't just a local security issue, it is a direct strike against African sovereignty and the continent's ability to dictate terms in the global energy market. While the Western media focuses on transitioning away from fossil fuels, they are conveniently ignoring the infrastructure sabotage that prevents Nigeria from fully capitalizing on its massive reserves. Today, we are diving deep into the warnings from NURPC's ISAN regarding the systemic threats to Nigeria's oil infrastructure, a problem that has simmered for 5 decades and is now reaching a breaking point. To understand why this is so critical, we have to go back. For over half a century, the Niger Delta has been the epicenter of global energy debates. Since the mid-20th century, Nigeria transitioned from an agrarian economy to a petroleum powerhouse. But this transition came with a cost: the creation of vast infrastructure that became targets for sabotage and theft. For 50 years, these systems have been under siege. The issue isn't new, it is a chronic condition. The 50-year-old problem refers to the persistent degradation and deliberate destruction of pipelines and refineries, actions that drain billions from the economy and destabilize the region. This sabotage doesn't just hurt Nigeria's GDP, it creates a vacuum in global supply that allows Western powers to manipulate prices and control narratives. When Nigeria's infrastructure is compromised, Africa's leverage is weakened. It becomes easier for international actors to dictate terms because they can point to instability as an excuse to maintain their grip on the energy sector. Before we move into how the West views this instability, I want to ask you something. Do you believe Africa should have full control over its own resources without Western interference? Like this video, help more Africans see this story and join the conversation of our shared awakening. Now, let us look at the current situation. The warning from NURPC's ISAN is a clarion call. They are highlighting that the theft of crude oil and the destruction of pipelines aren't just crimes, they are economic warfare. When thousands of barrels are siphoned off daily, it isn't just stolen for local use, it destabilizes the pressure in the lines, leading to massive spillages and environmental degradation. This creates a cycle of poverty that makes it easier for local communities to be manipulated by external interests who want to keep the region in a state of perpetual unrest. The West loves this instability narrative. It allows them to claim they aren't oppressing Africa, but rather managing the volatile region. But we know the truth: if Nigeria's infrastructure were secure and its output was maximized without Western monitored limitations, the continent would hold the cards in the global energy game. The 50-year problem is essentially a failure to secure the physical backbone of African wealth. Who are the players involved? On one side, you have the Nigerian government and bodies like NURPC, fighting to stabilize the infrastructure. On the other, you have local militants who are often exploited by international cartels looking to bypass legal trade routes. And then, there is the global market. The West's demand for energy continues to skyrocket while they simultaneously preach green policies that conveniently target African production. They want the oil, but they don't want Africa, about a continent that no longer needs to beg for loans or permission to develop its own resources. The 50-year problem is the final hurdle. If Nigeria can overcome this infrastructure sabotage, it proves that Africa can manage its own wealth and protect its own assets. It signals to the world that we are no longer a volatile region in need of Western oversight, but a powerhouse ready to lead the global energy transition on our own terms. What does this mean for our future? It means we must move toward internal security solutions. We need to empower local communities to be the guardians of their land and resources. We must invest in modern technology to monitor pipelines in real time, cutting off the leakage that both local criminals and foreign interests rely on. The goal is a sovereign Nigeria, which translates into a sovereign Africa. Subscribe for honest, Pan-African analysis you won't find on CNN or BBC. We are building a movement of awareness and pride. It is time we took back the narrative of our own prosperity. As we look ahead, the question remains: will Nigeria choose to fix the internal fractures that have been exploited for half a century, or will it continue to let its wealth bleed out? The answer won't just decide the fate of the Niger Delta, it will determine the pace of Africa's rise in the next decade. I want to hear from you. Do you think internal security is enough to stop foreign interference, or do we need a unified African energy bloc to truly protect our resources? Let me know in the comments below. Check out this next video on how African minerals are being targeted by global powers. Stay tuned and keep watching for more truth.